I think Tom will do the same thing to John Jones as what he did to Marcin Tybura. I don't think there's anyone that can stop Tom Aspinall.
Of this weight class is Tom Aspinall, and it's not even fucking debatable.
I just have so much that I've not shown, and people don't know what to expect. Nobody's got any idea.
9 fights, 8 finishes, and just under 15 minutes spent inside the Octagon. Interim UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall is so ridiculously good that everyone in this division, including the GOAT, appears to be avoiding him. Are they all not ready to face the scary reality of fighting the dangerous Brit? Tom Aspinall made a thumping entry into MMA in 2014, stopping his opponent in just 15 seconds with a nasty pounding. Aspinall's second fight may have lasted a bit longer than his debut, but the result was the same, with the Brit putting his grappling skills on display with a painful submission hold.
Known very well for their heel hook abilities, Ricky King in all sorts of danger. He's trying to punch his way out of there. There's the tap. You were right.
Aspinall's first 3 MMA fights were a stroll through the park, but the next 3 threw a few bumps on his path, momentarily slowing his momentum. However, those hiccups only ignited a fire within him, as he came back with a vengeance and left a trail of a half a dozen opponents gasping for air in his wake. Aspinall's first victim en route to victory was Kamil Buzelic, who was blasted away with a big right hand.
Good combinations.
Oh, big shot! And he's out! And it's all over!
In his next fight, Aspinall checked his opponent's low kicks so hard that his leg broke like a twig.
How much the toll that kind of fight has taken on him.
Oh, and he's broken his leg.
In his final fight before the UFC, Aspinall absolutely obliterated his foe on the feet before pounding his way to a thumping win on the mat.
Huge shot! Aspinall drops the bomb! Looking for the finish and it's over!
Aspinall dove into the UFC heavyweight Shark Tank in 2020 and wasted no time making his presence felt. Within a year, he racked up 3 wins, including a big victory over former champ Andrei Arlovski. In his 4th UFC fight, Aspinall stepped up against what many believed would be his toughest challenge in Sergey Spivak, but the doubters were in for a harsh reality check.
Yeah, I consider him as a pretty strong, tough opponent. He has certain strength, power, explosiveness, and he's completing fights early. So yeah, I consider him as a serious opponent for me.
On fight night, Aspinall avoided Spivak's wrestling like a pro and put on a striking clinic, showcasing lightning-fast hands and sharp boxing. It only took him half a round to knock Spivak out cold. Even Aspinall was caught off guard by how quickly it ended.
How did it play out?
It wasn't what I expected, to be honest. I expected a long fight because this guy is so durable.
With 4 wins in the UFC, people started noticing the big British bulldog.
Aspinall's like a heavyweight version of George St. Pierre. He's unbelievable. Right, he's going to go a very long way. He's going to have an incredible career.
With his star on the rise, Aspinall earned his first UFC main event at UFC London in March 2022, when he took on the towering Russian powerhouse Alexander Volkov. Known for dismantling legends like Fabricio Verdum and Alistair Overeem, Volkov was expected to derail the Brits' momentum.
So from my side, I really think that experience, and I showed a lot of fights and performances in the UFC. He didn't have many fights that last for long enough. So we will see how he will be fighting against one of the...
I do like knocking people out, I will be honest. For me, knocking someone out is better than submission. But I'll take the submission over 5 rounds all day.
Aspinall received more flowers for another thumping victory.
Tom Aspinall, that motherfucker is dangerous.
dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so fucking quick and explosive for that weight.
4 months later, Aspinall returned to the cage to face top contender Curtis Blades, but the fight ended early due to a knee injury, resulting in a heartbreaking TKO loss for the Brit.
Huge right hands.
You fight with a bad knee, but that bad knee has been bad
for years.
Mate, I've had that since before I was in the UFC.
Yeah.
So I've always been like training around it and stuff. And actually, the last camp, and I fought Blades, it felt really strong. But it does this thing occasionally where like it locks up. Well, it did do. It's fixed now. I've had surgery on it. But it used to like lock up.
After his knee surgery, the MMA community thought Aspinall would either take a long time to recover or come back a shadow of his former self. But the Englishman was about to prove everyone wrong and raise the bar in a way no one saw coming. In the summer of 2023, Aspinall headlined his third UFC London event, facing Marcin Tybura, who was on a hot streak with 7 wins in his last 8 bouts.
There's lots of stuff that I build up. I skilled up. There's, I was treated as a jiu-jitsu fighter before. Right now, I don't feel like there is a dominant, one thing dominant in my game. I think like I'm well-rounded and fully prepared. I'm a mixed martial artist.
Even though Aspinall respected Tybura, he didn't hold back from aiming high as he boldly set his sights on John Jones.
Last one from me. When you've spoken to us in the past and you've talked about wanting to fight John Jones one day, but back then you said you weren't ready. Do you think you're ready now?
Yes.
Aspinall knew a bold claim like that meant he had to deliver. And he did just that as he turned up the heat, landing a devastating elbow that sent Tybura reeling in just over a minute, then sealed the deal with a follow-up strike 73 seconds later. His opponent would later explain the scary reality of fighting Aspinall.
Who would be the toughest? Tom Aspinall, for sure. Yeah, I experienced his power, and yeah, he's the toughest one.
After another emphatic win, Aspinall was hoping for a #1 contenders fight. But instead, Aspinall found himself facing an even bigger challenge, which was for the interim title against the terrifying Sergey Pavlovich, a knockout machine with 6 first-round finishes to his name. The fight was a short-notice booking in place of the original UFC 295 heavyweight title main event between John Jones and Stipe Miocic, which had to be scrapped after Jones injured himself. Aspinall knew that this was his chance.
I'm fighting the scariest guy in MMA, in my opinion, in the worst circumstances possible without a training camp. But I obviously think I can win. Like, I'm not the kind of guy who shows up for money or who... I ain't signing a contract and showing up if I don't think I'm going to win.
On fight night, Aspinall turned the cage into his playground, stunning Pavlovich with lightning-fast punches before unleashing a ruthless flurry that ended the fight in a flash. With the interim title wrapped around his waist after the most electrifying win of his career, the Brit had just one name on his lips, and it was John Jones.
Opportunity, John. Just let me do it. Give me my dream fight. Why not? I've just achieved my dream now. Give me my dream fight. Let me fight for my legacy now, please.
Aspinall wasn't alone, as most pros also wanted to see Jones lock horns with Big Tom.
Yes, but John Jones versus Tom Aspinall, fucking interesting.
Some even went as far as calling him the one true champ of the UFC heavyweight division, even though Jones had the real belt.
I don't think he's actually fought a heavyweight. I'm sorry, I don't. So, yeah, you Aspinall as a guy with a real belt.
Who do you consider to be the best heavyweight in the world right now?
Aspinall, 100%. Like, the boy looks good. Like, there's nothing bad you can say about him in the Octagon.
Just days after those remarks, Blade stepped into the cage with Aspinall, only to find himself outclassed as the towering American crumbled under a crisp right hand from the Brit, who wasted no time swarming for the finish with cold precision.
John Jones. Or Stipe. Let's not discredit Stipe and what he's done.
When John Jones brushed off the call-out, Aspinall flipped the script. The typically respectful Brit turned up the heat with a verbal assault, aiming to rattle Jones and force him into a showdown for the ages.
Obviously, he's going to want to take that fight before me, because it's easier, way easier, way easier. And he knows that I'm the tougher fight for him.
Even though the MMA community jumped into the fray, turning up the heat on Jones, with fans and pundits calling for the champ to face Aspinall, arguing that the rising Brit was a more deserving challenge than the aging Miocic.
I've said before that he could smoke John Jones. I said before that John Jones couldn't hold a candle or hold a torch to Tom Aspinall. And I respect John Jones, and I like John Jones, and you've got to remember the run that he had and the great achievements that he's had in this incredible sport. But I believe what we saw tonight from Tom Aspinall, and what we see every time from Tom Aspinall, I believe that beats anybody.
John Jones is the GOAT, you know what I mean? He's the best of all time. But if anyone's going to give him a fight, it's Tom Aspinall, you know what I mean? He's got the speed, he's got the jiu-jitsu, he's got the power, but I don't think Jones will fight him.
Despite the growing clamor, Jones stuck to his guns, insisting on facing Stipe Miocic at UFC 309, where Jones reminded the world why he's the GOAT as he dismantled Miocic with clinical precision and secured a dominant TKO victory in the third round to retain his heavyweight throne.
And so happy, I want to acknowledge Jesus Christ. We have options. And so I'm just going to see what Dana wants, what Uncle Hunter wants, and you guys will hear about it soon, I'm sure.
That was a curveball. He went Jesus Christ instead of me.
Since his dominant win over Miocic, John Jones has shifted his focus towards a blockbuster matchup with Alex Pereira, leaving Tom Aspinall out in the cold. Jones has openly stated that he's no longer interested in fighting dangerous rising stars, a sentiment that has sparked whispers across the MMA community. Is John Jones avoiding the scary reality of fighting Tom Aspinall? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you like the video, please subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.